Hi, Paul Gorney from Luxury Living in Chicago. Right now we're going to take a look at Old Town versus Bucktown in Chicago. These two neighborhoods are only 2 miles apart, but extremely different. So when you're considering information on the internet, on YouTube, there's a million videos out there. What I've discovered is many of them are made by people that don't sell much real estate, and some of them don't even sell in the neighborhoods they're doing videos on. Just want to mention that because I'm one of the top selling agents in the entire Chicago area over the last 30 years, and have sold many homes over the last 30 years in Bucktown and Old Town. So when you're looking at information, consider that. I also will touch on fun things to do, restaurants, parks, schools, things like that, but really the overwhelming emphasis will be on real estate, kind of a more advanced look at it from someone who really knows, not just talking about restaurants and things like that. So number one, if you're looking at these two areas, which really honestly not many people do consider both of these areas at the same time, but it's an interesting thing to look at. Old Town is a lot of single family homes close to the lake. They're on the upper end of the price scale. Lincoln Park is right next door, which has many of the $3 to $4 million homes. Old Town is very similar. However, it's closer to downtown. It's not quite as insulated as Lincoln Park. So it has a lot more traffic, a lot more kind of intense street traffic, lots of bars, restaurants, which are great, but definitely a more urban feel than like Lincoln Park, even a touch higher. So there's a lot of new construction, there's lofts, there are condos. Many of them run along the, not many of them, but a few. Sometimes it's a little tricky because the L track curves there. There's condos that are by the L. You have to be careful of that when you're, don't want to waste your time looking at those. There's townhouse developments that have been in there for a long time. But I will say Old Town is a great area. North Avenue divides Old Town and Lincoln Park, and you know, it's just, you can walk to the Mag Mile, you can get things to eat. Very urban though. Bucktown, on the other hand, is similar in that respect. A very urban, busy neighborhood, but it's a bigger neighborhood. So there's more single family homes, there's more to choose from, there's more lofts. It's a very artsy, eclectic area. Lots of kind of like more of a hipster neighborhood, things to do, but you're further away from the lake in Bucktown. That's the biggest deal. It's 2 miles, but it might as well be 10 miles. It's just much further away. You can run and bike to the lake, but it's just not the same deal as living in Old Town. Price-wise, you're going to have a big difference typically in, even though they've evened out a lot over the years, but Old Town is you're going to get a lot less for your money. You're going to get a little bit more in Old Town, in Bucktown, and just have more room to roam. So there's, you know, a bigger neighborhood, longer walks to things. They have some nice parks. Old Town is primarily the lakefront, which is incredible, and Lincoln Park, which is massive, but it's not as neighborhoody a feel. So keep these things in mind when you're looking at them. Both neighborhoods have incredible restaurants. They have their share of very good schools, public and private, but you have to be careful with the public schools to really understand the mechanics of how you get into them and how good they are. They're not as consistent sometimes as the private schools. So some of the private schools, especially in Bucktown and Old Town, are very popular, have a great community around them, and kids do come from different neighborhoods to those private schools, but they do tend to you know, draw a lot from Bucktown, draw a lot from Old Town, but there's a smattering of other neighborhood influence in there as well. So if you're looking for information on Bucktown, Old Town, as I said, I'm one of the most experienced people for over the last 30 years with real estate, parks, educational choices, whatever you need. I help a lot of our business leaders, hundreds of our professional athletes. I'm relied on by major corporations to take care of people. So whether or not you need a condo or a luxury single family home, which I sell a lot of, just feel free to text, call, email anytime, and be happy to kind of explain the differences in these areas, or just focus on one of them for you depending on your personal situation and what you're looking for.